Hello, Freedom Maker here. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play. I was a female. I was a teenage exocolonist. I was a teenage exocolonist. Sorry. Forgot what it was called. I'm gonna go with that one. After all, I think actually the best answer I can give to why I like the country that I'm in, for example, is all of the people I know live here. I think if all of the people I knew lived in, say, France, I would like France better. This happens to be where I live. I think I've really got everything done that I could do outside of the colony. I'm thinking that now might be a good time to get some other stuff like engineering done or increase my empathy, just because I've got time to do that now. You know what? Actually, I am going to read these. It's going to take a while, but I am going to read them because it occurs to me that perhaps I'm not keeping them on screen long enough and you're not necessarily reading them in time before I move on to the next one. So, you flash against the wall as Instance breezes past you, by giving you a second look as he strides down the hallway. You poke your head inside the laboratory, where Tang scowls and wipes her eyes. What do you want? Tang nods. You're right, the first experiment was plagued by inefficiencies, says, putting herself off the lab bench. That's why I changed it in the first place. In the new experiment, I can eliminate these efficiencies from the start. Thank you, Solana. You may have saved me 3 months of work. I mean, this game has... I like that it has, okay, limited expressions, but still expressions for the characters do change as well. That's quite cool. Losing the data was my fault, Tang continues. I wanted to prove that I'm not the little kid from biology class, that I'm ready to work hard and really make great discoveries. Dr. Instance has always been there for me. When I was a kid, and now with my mother gone, she's the only adult in this colony who sees what I could become, she says. She believes I can be better than what I am. It's always been that way. I just really want to impress her. Alright, that is going to annoy her. You will. Tang hums in agreement. I certainly hope so. Right. I was obviously getting confused there. There we go. Well, I don't know if I've gone out there when it's wet, so let's go see what's out there. If there's nothing new out here, then I'll go back in again. If there's nothing new, I'm probably not going to show it off. At least I got a log. No, that thing's not new. Alright, well this isn't new, but there's a possibility that there's some stuff down below that I haven't done, so... You bravely fall in and get wet. You flounder towards the other side, soaked but victorious. Yeah. I just want to see if this thing is new, and if it's not, I'll go back inside. We're still only on the path when suddenly everything goes quiet. The wilderness is never quiet. There's always insect noises, the chirping of reptiles. Even the wind in the trees has gone eerily silent. There's something unnatural about this place. Through the quiet area, and the noise starts up again. The mystery arrived to remain unsolved. Spooky. Alright, yeah, there's nothing new here. You know what? I'm not going to go back out here again. Because there's not going to be anything new until the point where we're officially allowed outside of the walls, so... Why don't we see if we can find these up here? The view from the top of the house is stunning. In almost every direction you see the untouched beauty of Tumnus spill out before you. Well, except for where they've cut down a bunch of mush trees, and where the distance vehicles have churned out the dirt, and where the drainage sisters made a big muddy puddle and one. Well, we didn't talk to Dees, but we have increased our friendship with him. I mean, it doesn't matter that much if, I don't think it matters that much if we don't actually do this very often, but it will increase our empathy. So, plus I like Tommy. Hello, Solana. Antecedent greets you. Oh, sweetheart, I'm so happy you've come back to help. You know this place well, the crash. Part preschool, part all-day daycare. You practically grew up here, cared for communally while your parents worked their shifts. A few kids even live in the crash full time. In a way, antecedent, aka antecedent, is every kid's mum. The smell of craft glue and clean blankets gives you a calming sense memory of all the happy time you spent here with your friends. Cammy is here too, one of the toddlers conked out against her chest. She looks comically petite carrying such a large kiddo, but she seems at ease here in a way you don't usually see. You're going to babysit too? She says in an excited Stace whisper. You'll love it. When suddenly a bunch of wild hair and pink overalls run straight into you, nearly knocking you over. Almost more kitten than kid, the child grabs your leg and stares up at you with unblinking green eyes. What's that one? Antecedent warns. You remember Nougat? She turned out to be quite handful. Why don't you start off by getting her to go down for a nap? This sounds like fun. As you find the finger paints and wait for the crosses now printed to warm up and print some fresh sheets of blank paper, Nougat gets bored and slips away. Nougat makes a beeline for some older kids who are playing with a creative bot. She jazzes in to pick up the bot and hug it, cause it to flare and whirl and knock both her and itself over. By the time you get to the scene of the crime, there are tears and the other kids are upset about their broken bot. The commotion attracts the attention of Antecedent, who swoops in with hugs and tissues. Within minutes, she has it under control. Whoops, she says, hauling Nougat up onto her hip with ease. Just a little mix-up. Don't worry, everyone, so Lana will get that bot fixed in a jiffy. She winks at you with a warm smile. Okay, well, let's do this. I haven't done this in a while. Training in the dark is really hard. You lose a lot of sports balls under the bleachers and in dark corners this month. I don't know what bleachers are. You submit a request to engineering to make some sort of glow-in-the-dark paint so it's easier to spot the ball, but it gets rejected for not being a priority concern. Two data points from line, but 3 as a pattern. The colony is bound on high alert or glow, hoping that the creatures from beyond the wall don't return for a third year in a row. Surveyors keep reporting that they're seeing unusual animal activity. Even plants seem different, they say, and new tracks must have been left by creatures larger and heavier than you've ever seen. You and the other colonists drill evacuation plans. I wish this wasn't so much stuff to read, though. You're in engineering when you hear the sirens ring through the colony. You cover your ears against the noise and make your way to the nearby classroom. This is one of the assembly points, so you should be safe there, but if it wasn't so safe last year for Professor Howell, what if another creature gets in? You look at Professor Howell, and he looks back at you. Last year you saved his life right here. He clears his throat, visibly trying to stay calm. All right, children, he says, subconsciously touches his neck. Just remain seated. I'm certain everything will be fine. You've been told this before. As the sirens continue, you're faced with a choice. Um, uh, you know, Yeah, I'm gonna stay put. I think this is probably safer. You, Tang, Mars, and the other kids try to stay calm. Hal tells everyone to get under the big tables together. There's some nervous laughter as kids bump into each other. Then he reads from a textbook on Earth history to try to distract everyone. His voice shakes as he fumbles over passages about Mesopotamia. Probably mispronouncing that. It's more upsetting than helpful. Mars grabs your hand, but when you look at her, she looks away pointedly. There's nothing you can do, so you try to apply yourself to reading the chapter you've been assigned. You struggle with it, your mind racing. You notice Tangent trying to do the same. She gives you a faint smile over her hollow screen. It isn't long before the sirens turn off, ringing 3 short pulses as the all-clear message flashes on your hollow pad. You and the other children foul out of engineering, and you head to your quarters. Your parents will want to know that you're safe. Your dad gives you a big hug, but your mum slumps into a seat at your small table. It's like they're going specifically for geoponics this time. She mutters, but your dad pets her hair and shushes her. I'm sure it was just bad luck, Flulabelle, he says, but your mum shakes her head and folds her hands in front of her mouth, staring out the porthole windows of the fields. Okay, good. Friendship with quite a few people. I don't know if there's a better way to get persuasion. Tangent is standing still with her face held up to the sky, letting blue snowflakes land on her cheeks. They melt almost immediately. She doesn't move as you approach. After a minute, she winces and rubs her eyes. It stings, she says, because it's made of acid. Acid snow? Tans nods. Professor Howe says it isn't harmful, and this is an important part of the natural cycle here. It freezes at 12 degrees Celsius and turns into tiny crystals that are so heavy they fall from clouds. You can see them under a microscope. She sticks her tongue out and lets some of the flakes fall on it. It tastes kind of sour but sweet, she observes. Fascinating. Tange pulls a sample jar out of her pocket. We know what it's made of, but our understanding is incomplete, she says, and places a jar on an outcropping of rocks. The big mushrooms change in shape and colour before the snow began to fall. I wonder, is this some sort of signal that precedes the changing of the seasons? What happens if I expose samples collected in dust season to snow from quiet season? A small excited smile creeps across Tange's face. There's so much to learn about this planet. I can't wait. You and your brother are so much alike. Tang narrows her eyes. Yes, we used to get that a lot, she says. I guess it's still true, but if you think sneaking out of the colony is the same as valid scientific research. She frowns at you. He's so dumb, she mutters and shoves her hands under her arms. He only cares about feelings, especially his own. You know, I really think there has to be a balance between... I'm kind of one of those people who cares more about feelings as well. Not that science isn't interesting, it is. I really feel like there has to be a balance between feelings and rationality, because you're not being rational if you ignore feelings, any more than it's rational to never be rational, I guess. Hopefully that made sense. This is a lot of text to... if I'm going to do it this way, I'm thinking that I might not do a second playthrough of this. I don't know. I'll keep thinking about that. You find Dee sitting in the mouth of one of the walls, drainage sewers. In wet season, excess rainwater is diverted out here so it doesn't flood inside the walls. In the meantime, it looks like Dees has set up a little base here with pillows and the stuff of snacks. His alien communication device hisses with static. He looks up from his hollow screen as you pop your head inside the drain. "Hey Solana," he says quietly before going back to the game you've been playing. "What are you playing?" "You haven't heard of it," he says without looking up. "I made it myself." You squeeze into the narrow drain and sit down next to Dees. On his pad is a picture of Mars, and you watch him drag a match from the sidebar and drop it on her face. Little animated flames wiggle over the picture, leaving parts of it looking charged. It's pretty crude, but you think you get the point. What happened with Mars? Dees shrugs. "Same thing that always happens," he says. He resets the game, then drags a bomb from the sidebar into the pits of Mars. It explodes and the pits disintegrates. She booked my name down for every appointment with a nano printer because she thinks my clothes are always torn up and dirty all the time, he continues. "So I get in trouble for wasting resources. I tried to tell them it was her, but Mars never gets in trouble. Everyone likes her," he mumbles. "But it's fine. I don't need anyone to like me. I don't care if they hate me. I hate them." "Where did you learn how to do that?" "It's pretty simple," he says. The light from his hollow screen reflects his eyes as he looks at you in the gloom. "People on Earth used to make this kind of stuff all the time. I have lots of time to learn new things." "Oh, I see." Dees goes back to his playing his game, content not to talk to you. "Yeah, that's all. He'll like me more if I go for this, so I want to try." "Sure," Dees replies. He links his hollow pad to yours, and you feel the haptics pulse as the game files transfer. You open the game and are presented with an option. Whose face do you choose? Yeah, I don't have a grudge against any of these other people. I mean, Mars probably isn't a horrible person, but yeah, I'll stick with that. You load up a picture of Mars. Screw her, she's so bossy and mean. Dees is white, she's the worst. You drag a knife from the toolbox onto the pizza. Thwank, right through the face. It feels good, in a weird way. You probably shouldn't think about that too hard. You spend a few hours letting off steam with Dees, loading different pictures of your classmates and commiserating about life in the colony. After a while, he even starts to smile a little bit. "I don't really want to hurt anyone," Dees confides in you. "Sometimes it just feels like I have so many angry thoughts inside my head that there's no room for anything else." He turns off his hollow palm and looks down his hands. "Even if it makes me feel kinda gross after. It's better than feeling numb." Okay, I'm going to end the episode there. Grateful to not have to read anything else. I will see you next time.